this will be the first time that we have a planning meeting for IPFS that's trying to get a majority of the contributors, regardless of inside or outside of Protocol Labs, all the people who are contributors and and a strong sampling of people who are very active contributors to IPFS, all in one place to plan work for the upcoming quarter year. And this is also a precursor to IPFS Conf, which will happen in November. So we're going to have the conference in November here in Lisbon, but as a setup, and that conference will probably be a couple hundred people. So it's going to be a big event with lots of people, lots of excitement, lots of preparation, where all the people who are currently engaged contributors are probably going to be giving presentations or running workshops, and so you're going to be really busy. As a precursor to that, we're having these meetings in July in Berlin, in July 9th through 13th, which will be more working meetings for the people who are already engaged in everyday work. One of the most important things there is that this will be a time for the working groups to meet face-to-face, many of them meeting each other face-to-face for the first time. And this is happening in a context where our approach to steering IPFS as a whole is not about 2 or 3 people or a small group of people deciding this is what the IPFS world is going to do, and then everyone conforming with some singular vision of what IPFS should be and what libp2p should be. Instead, it's that teams and working groups decide based on their understanding of what their stakeholders need, what their users need. They decide what they need out of the protocol, what they need out of the ecosystem, and then they tell each other and coordinate with each other to make sure we're building the right stuff for each other. And so this meeting will be our first time doing that face-to-face in person. Ultimately, we will continue doing most of our coordination and planning. It'll all be online and remote and asynchronous, but it is useful to occasionally be face-to-face. So the purpose of these meetings is to get face-to-face for the first time in a very focused group and do some planning and think about what we're going to do next. And also to sort out or clarify what we want these working groups to be, how we want to use those working groups, what does it mean to be in one of those working groups, all of those things. People who attend those meetings will leave with more responsibilities than they already have, or the majority of those people will. Some people, like the tech leads, will probably get to hand some things off. And so that's really my presentation. But then maybe we can do some Q&A about that and also talk a little bit about what sessions should be happening. Maybe talk about the working groups. I don't know that we need to dig into that. But yeah, do people have questions about what's going on with these meetings and how they'll be happening? Is there any?
Do people need to prepare?
Yeah, so the main thing is that we will be posting very soon, like in the next week or two, we'll be posting an invitation for people to propose sessions. We're also going to spend some time this afternoon working on sort of brainstorming about what kinds of sessions people would want to do. This is really up to you and the other people who are in working groups to decide what are the things you want to do in these meetings. What are the things you need to sort out together? What are the things you need to discuss? What are the plans you need to set? And then also, it's just an opportunity to spend time together. So you don't necessarily need to prepare for that. It's more of an opportunity to get to know each other. And one of the main things that needs to happen to prepare is people getting a clearer sense of what are the working groups or what should be the working groups. So if you're part of a working group and you feel like you don't fully understand what it's doing or why it's doing it, you should talk about that with the other people in the group. Or if you think there should be a team or a working group for working on something, you should get that conversation rolling so that you can convene that group in the meetings in Berlin. Otherwise, just think about what is it that you want to discuss and how do you want to discuss it? Is it that I'm sure some discussions are going to be diving deep on technical issues. Other discussions are going to be about how should we be thinking about the users for web UI, or like they're more user focused. Other discussions might be about decision-making process. I'm not sure. It's up to you. Anything else you wanted? Juan, do you have any thoughts about that? About the dev meetings? We're very excited. It will probably be, I'm still guessing it's going to be somewhere, but we said 60 to 100 people. I think it's going to fall right about 60 to 75 people. So it won't be huge. It will be a pretty, it's a big number of people, but they're like, through this week, there have been 38 people here. Yeah. So it'll be roughly twice the amount of people you saw this week will be there. Oh, we're splitting libp2p is the last 2 days. So the first 3 days is IPFS. The final 2 days is libp2p. We're treating those as separate events. So some people will only attend the libp2p. Some people will only attend the IPFS. If you want to attend both, you have to apply to attend both. And it is application-based, so you have to apply to attend because we're letting anyone apply to attend, but we are only accepting the people who can show that they have been actively engaged in contributing to the evolution of IPFS and that they're going to be able to show up and participate in practical working meetings to move things forward.
So I think when Mike presented this morning, you mentioned that there is a repo for Zoom meeting sessions.
Yes.
Is that going to happen also for IPFS?
Yes. So I didn't read that email that went today of him creating that repo. So there's going to be one repo with the libp2p, people proposing libp2p sessions, and then we'll also have a repo for proposing IPFS sessions. And that we'll announce those very, very soon. We just got to set up the template for proposing and get it rolling. Oh.
All right.
Thank you.